Yeah, the two quarterback system doesn't seem to change the play selection. So the way they operate with personnel and the way they operate with formation and the way they operate with play selection, it, I don't think they alter too much based on one person or the next. So tactically, there's not much of a difference. Now, fundamentally, there's a difference because one guy does things a little bit different than the other guy. So, I mean, either way, defend the plays and the sets, and they both do things well. You saw 11 at the end of the last game keep plays alive with his legs and do a real nice job in a challenging circumstance and driving their team for really the game tying, go for two moment there at the end. In a two minute drill, he did a beautiful job. So I don't know how much of a mystery it is or there is with, as it relates to cloak and dagger, who's the guy, who's not the guy.
Is there something different about how you prepare when you have a team like Purdue that runs as many trick plays as they do? Something that maybe
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge deal. They're very innovative. The coach Brom and his brother and the Brom brothers and they've been doing great things on offense for a long time. They're from a deep lineage of dynamic offensive coaches and offensive production, and they have a lot of offense. I mean, it is a lot of offense, a lot of personnel groupings, a lot of formations, a lot of plays, a lot of window dressing, a lot of stuff, tempo. It's a lot to prepare for and can be a real problem. And a very aggressive offense and play caller. So,
Coach, do you focus on anything specific in the bye week that you wanted to kind of accomplish?
yeah, we focused on our fundamentals. We focused on a lot of deep player depth, working down through the next man in and the next man in. A lot of guys participated. And we did a lot of really strong individual work. The lion's share of the practices were individual. Just get the players better, fundamentally.
After watching that Ohio State film and sitting on it for a little bit, what was is there one emerging thought coming out of that? Did you learn anything?
No, and I appreciate the question. And, I could. It's one of those things, right? We met, and I want and will be honest, right? I'm not going to give you coach speak. I'm not going to say the coach speak company line, right? Because you want an honest answer about the game or where we're at or the defense and moving forward, right? And I want to give it to you. And unfortunately, that sometimes can sound like making excuses. So I don't want to be that way. I'm not that way, and I don't want to be framed that way. You know what I mean? But I want to answer the question as you think about, and I thought deeply about it. Like you think about Mick Stoltenberg, for example, and it's a great example. And there's a few examples of that. This is an instant. And when we met in January, February, it's not instant. This isn't powder, add water, shake. It's a holistic, all-encompassing, all-consuming process to create a great defense, and it takes time. And like I said, Mick Stoltenberg, great example. So Mick is physically capable to do all the work at a very high level, first and second down, third down and short. He's big, he's strong, he's fast, he's smart, he's tough, he's got great confidence because he's a veteran player to do all the jobs. The gap he has is our new defense. So he's new to the defense, and that gap is shrinking. And the gap I'm talking about is the gap between his play and dynamic production, right? So that gap is shrinking with participation and time. You take DiCaprio Boodle, big enough, fast enough, courageous, possesses all the tangible traits and intangible, invested, passionate. Like I can't say enough about both those guys. They are absolutely awesome guys, lovely, and DiCaprio. So he's new to the system, so that's a gap, which is closing, but he's also never played in college football games before, so he has two gaps. So there's two gaps. So that's just two quick examples of the reality of defending. So in one case, there's one gap which closes with time participating in the system. The other one, there's two as a brand new player doing a brand new defense. So there's two. Now there's more. There's more gaps. You know, there's another gap created for every person in the organization, right? Maybe a challenge to focus. Right? Is that real? Possibly. Maybe. Yeah, I'd say. You know? So there's a gap there. So there is no doubt that we are going to create a great defense. We are going to create the best defense in the country here. There's no doubt about that. It's just going to take time. As these gaps are eliminated, minimized, and eliminated for every player. And the players are good enough to do that, to do just that. The ones on the team, and the ones we're trying to have join the team. So it's exciting. The future's exciting. I can personally see all the people and the gaps, and the staff included. Gaps there. It's not just the players. The staff is new to the system. There's some staffers that are new to the work. So, and all the other gaps that could exist per person, per situation. So, we know them. We're closing them. We're eliminating them, and with each one that closes and minimizes and gets smaller, we'll get better.
Hey, Coach, you got to watch practice during the spring. You were working with punters. What was your biggest emphasis of that with like someone like Caleb?
Yeah, no, everything. So I've always enjoyed coaching the punters. We've got a fun coaching and teaching progression for those guys. It's some of the thoughts are a little outside the box as it relates to how they think about hitting the ball, and it's got a teaching progression that goes along with the mindset of striking the ball. And he just bought in, and he's really done a very nice job with his fundamentals of that task. So just everything, all the fundamentals, a little bit of mindset work. It's great here because there's wind and there's some elements that can create a challenge for a kicker, punter, snapper, holder, the battery. So that's been great work, and with every day that passes, he's getting better and better. He's going to be a special player.
Anything else? Coach, clearly the first game this year to have a full healthy secondary of everyone. How big will that be for this week?
You know what? I'm trying to temper it just a bit because I'm not exactly sure if everyone's going to get to 100%. But based on let's just say, assuming that we get to the game and that is the case, that will be really fun to see those puzzle pieces in place like we thought they would be, in the summer. So to see that group line up like we had intended for them to line up, I think is going to be pretty exciting. I'm just kind of tempering it a bit because right now they're coming back still. They're not all at that 100% mark.
You talked about after the Ohio State game, it was a disappointing night, and about the culture and it needing some nurturing, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
How has that come along in the last week or so, and what have you guys kind of done?
Yeah, good. Yeah, good. I mean, like we said, it's so. It all goes. If given the opportunity, I know what we're going to create, right? So opportunity, you can immediately think of time. But that's just one piece of opportunity. In-game conduct is opportunity. If the game isn't conducted in a way that gives the defense an opportunity, so we just need to communicate, which we do really wonderfully. There's a lot of love. Receptors are wide open. There's a lot of trust. It's very consistent. Their energy is consistent. Our energy is consistent, and as we just kind of can focus on the reality of each situation, not 40,000 feet, rah-rah, siskumbah. Everybody's trying hard. They don't need a pep talk. It's not about pep talks. It's about the reality of why this looked like this, or this play specifically looked like that. So it's just eliminating, like we said, minimizing and eliminating those gaps, and identifying, honestly, the gaps and being consistent with that per person, per circumstance, and taking account and accountability of that. And then here's the plan to eliminate it, so that we can get to a point where there is no gap between my individual matchup and my ability to produce. Thank you.